Happy Saturday, everybody. So we've got another 15 game slate, but before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's free. We are pushing 200 subs. I believe we are 4 or 5 away. So thank you to everybody that's already subscribed. Let's get into the recap. So, losing day. Weird day. Weird Friday, fun day. All right, Dodgers money line. They got smoked early. Landon Knack gave up a bunch of runs. Really, not much happened after like the 5th inning in this game, maybe the 4th. Astros run line got the job done for us. Twins, what the hell was that, man? The Reds just blew up for 6 runs in the 7th inning. They left Ober out there way too long. Ellie De La Cruz hit a grand slam. Twins tried to come back, but it was too little too late. Ended up losing that one 8-4. So, yeah, there's that. Diamondbacks money line. It looked like they were going to score a couple in the first. They got the first 2 runners on. Ended up getting 1 run, and that's all she wrote. Ended up being 2-1. So that was a fun game. Padres money line. They ended up getting the job done. Cease pitched an excellent game. On the parlays, the only one we hit was the Oakland-Washington. The 2 crappiest games on the board, and we hit that. Cleveland got beat by the Rays. There was just no offense from them whatsoever. We already talked about the Twins, the Dodgers, D-backs. The Phillies got smoked. Orioles. Oh, the Orioles. 1-0. First inning, I think it was the first hitter hit a leadoff home run. That was it. It was a 1-0 game. The Orioles were getting no hit with 2 outs in the 9th. And they ended up hitting a triple, and then the next guy K'd. So GG on that one. Cubs hit a really clutch 3-run home run to tie it at 5, and then gave up 4 in the bottom of the 8th, so they lost. Rangers were up 4-0 heading into the bottom of the 7th. Gave up 2 in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, ended up losing 5-4. So that sucked. But DeGrom looked fantastic. Prop leans, we just absolutely sucked. 1 and 5. We hit the Aldegari over 2.5 earned runs. Butler had 1 HRR. Knack had 38 earned runs, so that one got dusted. Cabrera ended up striking out 9. Ober hooked on us and had 6 Ks. So it is what it is. 2 and 3 on the Nerfies. Blah, blah. That sucked. All right, hot and cold matchups. We've got a decent amount here. So a couple of guys that are hitting well off Garrett Cole. So Danny Jansen and Rafael Devers. We've got Anthony Volpe hitting well off of Bello, which would be really nice because he has not been hitting well lately. A couple of guys hitting pretty well off of Freeland. So we have Cody Bellinger, Dansby Swanson. A few guys hitting well off of Joe Musgrove. That's more just the last start where he got shelled by him. And then several players, 5 players hitting well off of Tyler Anderson. Cold batter matchups. We've got a few that are cold against Garrett Cole, a couple that are cold against Bello, notably Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge. Let's see, we've got a couple that are cold against Logan Gilbert for the Rangers. We got 3 of those. Hot pitcher matchups. Logan Gilbert giving up a 181 average to this Texas lineup. Cold pitcher matchups. We got Michael Wacha giving up a 326 average to the Pirates. Garrett Cole, 264 to the Red Sox. Kyle Freeland, 357 to the Cubs. Musgrove, 284 to the Giants. And Tyler Anderson, 315 to this Houston lineup. So some interesting games. We'll kind of jump in here. Bullpen review. Nothing too crazy to talk about. Standings, we'll kind of lightly touch on that. I would say the Red Sox are pretty much out of it now. I'd say it's highly, highly likely. In fact, we're going to go ahead and move them to the GG. Let's see. Tigers are still in it. Nice little battle in the AL going here. So we've got the Royals 2.5 games up. Mariners and the Tigers are kind of trying to fight for a spot here. So we'll have to see. Let's see. In the NL is kind of where it's at. You got the Braves, the Mets, the D-backs, and the Padres all in this nice little battle for the wild card spots. Should be quite an interesting race coming down the stretch here. All right, first game on the card. Red Sox and the Yankees. Brian Bayo taking on Garrett Cole. So Bayo Has a 4.5 away ERA. Cole, about a 4 home ERA. If we look at Bayo, he's pitched really well against the Yankees. He's got a 2.66 career ERA in 7 games against them going back to 2022. Look at his last outing was on July 26th in Boston. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, and then 3 earned runs in 2 away games in 2023 against the Yankees. So pitched pretty well in Yankee Stadium. If we look at his last 4 games, he's given up 11 earned runs, 8 earned runs in his last 3 away games. We look at Garrett Cole, not a great track record against the Red Sox. As we could tell, he was on the cold pitcher matchup. He's got a 6.23 ERA versus the Red Sox dating back to just I think it should be 2022. So 8 games. If we look at Cole, he's given up 4 earned runs in his last 5 starts. So he's trending very well. He's only given up 3 earned runs in his last 3 home starts. So the Yankees are pretty heavy favorites given Cole's recency issues with the Red Sox. That said, gut feeling says Bayo is due for some regression. He's been pitching a little too well, in my opinion. Not that he's been pitching lights out, but I feel like he's due for a good shelling. So I like the Yankees here to get the job done, but I think the value, frankly, is on taking the Red Sox. Really, at this price, you'd have to take Yankees run line or pair them up. So the wind is blowing in, so I do think that helps Garrett Cole. He is prone to give up some long balls at times, so if you are looking for home run prop, I do like Ty O'Neill to hit a home run today. All right, next game, Royals and the Pirates. So the Royals do an absolute beatdown on Luis Ortiz, which was beautiful. We were on the Royals. It's very magical. That felt good. Michael Wacha going up against Mitch Keller. So if we look at Wacha, he's got a little under a 4 away ERA. Keller slightly below a 3 home ERA. If we look at Walker, he's given up 9 earned runs in his last 4 games. He gave up 0 to the Twins, 2 to the Indians, and then 5 to the Indians, or Guardians. Man, can't say that no more. Anyway, the 5 against the Guardians is a little misleading. They left him out there a little too long, and he gave up all those 5 runs in the 6th inning of that game, if I remember correctly. And then he gave up 2 to Philly. So he's really been pitching excellent baseball. If we look at Keller, 9 earned runs in his last 3, 5 earned runs in his last 3 home starts. Keller is significantly better at home than he is away. That said, man, Pittsburgh's really not playing for anything. Casey's in a pretty tightly contested wild card race, still some outside hope of winning the Central. So give me the Royals again in this spot. We're just getting too much value for a team that is just significantly better. So I'll take the Royals there. Next game, Cardinals and the Blue Jays. This was a pretty interesting game. Tied at 3. Blue Jays held the Cardinals scoreless in the top of the 10th. Then they couldn't score in the 11th. In the 10th, and then I think they won it in the 11th. They ended up getting bases loaded, no outs. So we've got Kyle Gibson going up against Jose Barrios. So Barrios is a very good home pitcher. He's got a sub-3 ERA. Gibson, about 3.5 away ERA. If we look at Gibson, he's got a little over a 4 ERA versus Toronto since 2022, and he's given up 12 earned runs in 24 innings pitched. He's pitched pretty well his last 2. He's only given up 1 earned in his last 2. However, we go back to the previous 3 games, he had given up 15. Go back to his last 3 away games, he's given up 11 earned. So he's had some really good home starts, not so great away starts. If we look at Barrios, he's only given up 6 earned runs in his last 4 games. That said, his last home start was quite a ways ago. It was on August 20th, so he hasn't pitched a home in a while. But he's had some really good form on the road, which was really more of his struggles earlier in the year. He's been good at home all year. So I like the Blue Jays in this spot. I'm not seeing anything offensively from the Cardinals over the past 2 series. It gets me super confident that they're going to win this game. So I'll take the better pitcher in Barrios, and frankly the better offense in the Blue Jays, and they have home field advantage. All right, next game, Marlins and the Nats. So Valente Velasco going up against Patrick Corbin. It's Patrick Corbin day. Nats got the job done today, 4-1, I believe. Started off with 2 more runs in the first inning and then kind of struggled to score the rest of the game. It's a weird little thing they keep doing. It feels like a Marlins day to me. I don't know. Patrick Corbin, I don't trust him. That said, Marlins are terrible against lefties. So kind of yin and the yang. I don't know. I just don't trust. I don't trust the Nats to win this game. More importantly, I don't trust Corbin. If we look at Corbin, he's got 2 games at Miami, so 9.2 innings in total. Like I said, both of them away. 15 hits, 6 earned runs, 12 Ks. So this team likes to hit Patrick Corbin. Let's see, Corbin, 10 earned runs in his last 4, 9 earned runs in his last 2. Both of those were away, and 9 earned runs in his last 4 home starts. So he's been better at home. Belazzo, he's pitched better than what the numbers indicate, although he's got a 3.57 ERA. Expected ERA is 5.2, so there could be some regression. If we look at Belazzo, he pitched against this lineup 10 days ago in Miami, 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs. So he absolutely shut them down. He's only given up 1 earned run in his last 2 games. That was at Pittsburgh and versus the Nats. So we got a decent little sample size. ERA is a little inflated due to a bad Coors Field start, but I'll give him a pass in Coors. I just think the Marlins had the better pitching advantage. They have a track record already this season of hitting Corbin. Bullpen's been a little spotty. That said, the Marlins bullpen hasn't been great either, but just feels like a fish day. Too much value. I can't trust the Nats at minus 148. Okay, Mets, Phillies. Should be an interesting game. Severino and Colby Allard. So Albert, a lefty that doesn't throw hard. He's kind of a junk ball pitcher. He's going to be low 90s, maybe upper 80s kind of guy. He's only given up 7 earned in his last 4, 2 or less in his last 3 starts. So last 3 have been trending in the right direction. Of course, the Phillies have been struggling with that 5th spot in the rotation. Taijuan Walker was in that spot, got hurt, came back, still sucked. So they kind of booted him out. They started the rookie. He got rocked. So they've gone through several pitchers here trying to find the back end of this rotation. If we look at the Mets, they haven't faced a lefty starter since September 1st, and that was Garrett Crochet. They ended up getting, let's see, if you go back to the last 4 left-handed starters, they only had 9 earned runs off of those last 4. However, batting splits look decent for him over the last 14 and over the last 7, although that's off relief pitchers, not starting pitchers. So if we look at Severino, he's been pitching pretty dang good lately. He's only given up 6 earned in his last 4 games, and 4 of those 6 were at the D-backs. If we look at just strictly away games, over his last 4, he's given up 13 earned. So he's definitely been a lot better at home than he has been away. To me, this is just a system play. I like the Phillies here just simply, when a team gets routed, I love to take them the next day. It works out a vast majority of the time. Colby Allard, he scares me, but I'm going to trust that he can kind of hold the Mets at bay to some degree, and we should see the Phillies offense hit a little bit. Severino giving up a 292 average to lefties over the past 30 days, only 170 to righties. Allard, a little more alarming, 400 to lefties, 333 to righties. And his hard hit percentage is significantly higher than Severino. So 45% hard hit to 35. So everything kind of points in the Mets' direction here in transparency. But to me, like I said, just a system play where I like to take the other team when they get routed. All right, next game, Rays and the Guardians. Guardians. What in the heck are you doing? Joey Cantillo going up against Drew Rasmussen. So Rasmussen's going to go 2 innings max. And then I think we will see Tyler Alexander come in. I believe that's how it's going to go. If we look at Cantillo, he's just been a dumpster fire of giving up earned runs. 16 earned runs in his previous 4, with the exception of his last start. Really good game. It was at the White Sox. You can kind of discount that. I don't even look at that. If we look at Rasmussen, he doesn't give up a lot of runs. He's got a .87 away ERA. That said, at home, he had been giving up some runs. So he's given up 3 earned in his last 7.1 innings pitched, 1 earned in his last 6 away games. So he does better away than he does at home. We've seen Cleveland struggle against lefties over the past 30 days. So I don't put a lot of faith in that. The one time I do like to back the Rays is against a lefty. But look at that Dodgers series specifically. They went to town on Kershaw. Actually, you can probably go back 2 or 3 series. When they throw a lefty starter, the Rays have had success. So I will take the Rays here at plus money. This line was at plus 120, and it's dipped to plus 110. So we are seeing some money come in on the Rays here. All right, next game, Tigers and Orioles. There's no line for this yet. I believe, I want to say from looking at other books, Tigers going to be around plus 140-ish. I think that's just Corbin Burns on the hill going up against Ty Madden, who they haven't named a starter. I believe it's going to be Ty Madden. So we're doing some guesswork here. Corbin Burns, 3.20 ERA. Madden, 2.57 ERA. He's only pitched away games. So Corbin Burns has given up 4 earned runs in his last 3. So he's trending in the right direction. However, we go back to the 4 games prior to that. He had a really bad stretch where he gave up 20 earned runs. So this is a very hot-hitting Tigers team. We see they're hitting 319 over the past 7 days, 270 over the past 14 against right-handed pitchers. The splits for Burns just don't blow me away. Over the past 30 days, he's given up a 345 average to lefties, 308 to righties. That said, they're not hitting him super hard. 32 hard hit percentage, 87.5 exit velo. So not hitting the ball necessarily hard. We look at Madden, 280 to lefties, 207 to righties. To me, this is a hot Tigers team and a very, very cold offensive Orioles team. They struggled mightily today. If we look over the past 7 days, they're hitting sub 200 against righties. WRC plus at 76. We look at the Tigers WRC plus second right now, 149. Very, very good. I got to see the O's hit the baseball. So can't trust them, especially at minus 180, which I think is right around where they'll be. Even with Corbin Burns on the mound, that just doesn't justify that to me. All right, Reds and the Twins. Goddamn Twins. Just could not get the job done. Nick Martinez, I believe, is going to be pitching. Going up against SWR, Simeon, Woods, Richardson. So Martinez has been really solid. He went through about a 3-game stretch where he struggled, but he's been back on that pitching well train. Only 1 earned run in his last 2 games. If we look at Minnesota, they're just struggling offensively. They've only gotten 6 earned runs off the last 5 right-handed starters at home. So they've really been struggling to hit righties at home. They've been struggling to hit anything. So it doesn't really matter, I guess, which side. Let's see. So if we look at SWR, he's got a 3.64 home ERA. He has pitched in 11 games at home this year. He's got 1 win. He is 1-1. So Twins are struggling to give him some run support, that's for sure. If we look at his run support, let's see, we can see about 4.5. So he's been giving up some runs. Both teams are struggling to hit with runners in scoring position. Hitting splits, so SWR giving up a 286 average to lefties, 180 to righties. Nick Martinez, 250 to lefties, 313 to righties. So it does technically favor the Twins. Like same thing. I can't trust them offensively at minus 155. I'll take my chances with the Reds here. And Nick Martinez has been pitching really well, so I like that spot. If we look at SWR, he's given up 10 earned runs in his last 4 starts, 9 earned runs in his last 3 home starts. So it's kind of a Reds offense that when they do catch fire, they usually keep it going for a couple games. So we'll have to see. All right, A's in the White Sox. I did 0 research on this game. I just blindly picked the Athletics because Chris Flexen is horrendous. JT Ginn's not amazing. But yeah, bet it if you want. I'm not gonna touch this game. We were on the A's, but not gonna play with fire. All right, Dodgers and the Braves. Oof, this is a game. Is this the game of the year? Potentially, I don't know. Jack Flaherty, Chris Sale. Should be a real good one. We saw the Braves win 5-2 today. Got all their runs in the first 2 innings, I believe. It might even been the first inning. I'm not sure. If we look at the Dodgers, they've been hitting lefties really well. 364 average over the last 7, 284 over the last 14. We look at the Braves. They're just, you flip a coin. You don't know what you're going to get from them offensively. Flaherty about a 2.5 away ERA. Sale close to a 2.5 home ERA. Flaherty has given up 2 earned runs in his last 2 games. That was against Cleveland and at Arizona. So 2 decent teams, especially that at Arizona game. A pretty impressive game there. If we look at Sale, he has not had a great track record against this Dodgers team. He's got a 10 career ERA versus the Dodgers. That said, he hasn't pitched against them since 2019, so it's been quite a while. If we look at Chris Sale, 0 earned runs in his last 2 games versus the Blue Jays and the Rockies. And what's more impressive is he has given up 2 or less earned runs in his last 16 games. That's insane. If we look at the Dodgers, like I said, they've been hitting lefties well. They've gotten 16 earned runs off the last 5 left-handed starters. So, why do I keep doing this? Sometimes I'll go back and forth on these games. I forget to change them. I like Dodgers here. Plus money. We just don't know what we're going to get offensively from the Braves. The earned run line for Sale is at 2.5, which is pretty crazy. And it's not crazy to think he gives that up. So I just don't trust that the Braves can hit 2 games in a row. That's really what it comes down to. And we didn't really see the Dodgers put up any runs last game. So I like them here to even the series. All right, Brewers and the Diamondbacks. Tobias Myers going up against Brandon Pfaadt. It's pretty crazy that the D-backs are favored in this one. If we look at Pfaadt, he has given up some runs. 17 earned runs in his last 4 games. So he gave up 3 at Houston, 3 against the Dodgers, 6 against the Mets, and then 3 against Miami. Although that's a really tough stretch. Houston, Dodgers, Mets. Kind of a tough stretch of teams that have been pretty decent offensively. If we look at Myers, he's got a 2.76 away ERA, Pfaadt 4.23 home ERA. Myers has been pretty solid. 8 earned runs over his last 4 games. 5 earned runs in his last 3 away games. So he's pitched really well on the road. Pitched quite well at home. That said, his pitch splits don't look great. If we look, the D-backs over the last 30 days are best hitting team against the right-handed fastball. Top 5 in slider, curveball, and changeup. So cutter is the only thing they've struggled with a little bit. Yeah, I like the D-backs to get the job done. I was just kind of hoping it was going to be closer to a pick'em, but still take the D-backs here. All right, next game, Cubbies and the Rockies. Jameson Taillon going up against Kyle Freeland. Freeland's got a pretty decent home ERA, of course, 3.74. Taillon has not been as good on the road as he has been at home, about a 5 ERA. That said, he's only given up 1 earned run in his last 2 games. We go back to the previous 4 to that, though, and he had given up 13 earned runs in his last 3 away games. So we know he struggles a little bit more on the road. If we look at Taillon, he has pitched 2 games in Coors Field. So I do like when pitchers have had experience in Coors. And pretty good, 5 earned runs in 14 innings. I would say that's very serviceable for Coors Field. If we look at Freeland, he did face this Cubs lineup earlier in the year at Chicago. Didn't go so well. 3.1 innings, 9 hits, 7 earned runs. That's why we're seeing him pop up on the cold pitcher matchup report there. But if we do look at Freeland, he's given up 2 or less earned runs in his last 4 games. 13 earned runs in his last 4 home games. So he has been actually pitching much better on the road than he has been at home. So that's a bit contrary to what he was doing for the first half of the season. So I like the Cubs to win this. They have to win it. They don't really have a choice. Rockies aren't really playing for much at this point. So yeah, I'll take them. Splits just look pretty good for them. All right, Padres and the Giants. This is an interesting matchup. We just saw this matchup last week. Musgrove and Black, except this was in San Diego. Giants came out early and just hammered Musgrove. Really, really got to him pretty bad. All right, so if we look at Musgrove, 4.25 away ERA. Don't know why that says home. And then if we look at Mason Black, he's got a 10 home ERA. So the guy sucks. Musgrove gave up 8 hits and 6 earned runs in 4.1 innings versus the Giants. Most of those came in the first inning. So if we look at Musgrove, 10 earned runs versus the Giants. Both games were in San Francisco. So a little bit of cause for concern, right? We've got this path that shows that he's been hit hard there. 4 earned runs in his previous 4 games. But if we look at Black, 6 earned runs in his last 2 games, 14 earned runs in his previous 4, which was way back in May. So he got called back up. But I just see the Padres absolutely smacking this kid around. So give me the Padres here. I think Musgrove bounces back and has a good game. all the books are thinking he has a great game as well. All right, Astros, Angels. This is a tough one. Verlander going up against Tyler Anderson. Verlander's been basically batting practice. And yeah, I just don't like it. He's already faced this team earlier in the year, gave up 4 earned runs. He's given up 19 earned runs in his last 4 games, 13 earned runs in his last 3 away games. That said, we look at Tyler Anderson. He's not a good home pitcher. Very good on the road, not good at home. And the same rings true against this team. He's faced the Astros twice this year, pitched really well in Houston, only gave up 1 earned run. Faced them in Los Angeles, gave up 4 earned runs. So kind of tough there. He's got a 6.14 career ERA versus Houston in 9 games. He's given up 14 earned runs in his last 3 home starts. That was against the Mariners, the Blue Jays, and the Mets. So 2 teams he probably shouldn't have got rocked on that he did. But do I trust Verlander enough to pay minus 180? No, absolutely not. So I would rather flip a coin with the Angels at plus money here, and I'll back Tyler Anderson. We look at the splits for Verlander. He's given up a 300 average to righties over the last 30 days, a 412 average to righties, 295 to lefties. Anderson, 250 to lefties, 274 to righties. Basically the same in terms of their hard hit percentages. So, yeah, to me, I'd just take my chances with the Angels. Rangers and the Mariners. Logan Gilbert going up against Max Scherzer. So it's been a pretty interesting week for the Rangers. They had Rocker go, then you had DeGrom come back. Now you've got Scherzer coming back. Scherzer wasn't looking good before he got injured. 8 earned runs in his previous 3 games. That said, he hasn't had a start since July 30th, so it's been a hot minute since he's pitched in the majors. We look at Logan Gilbert, 6 earned runs in his last 3 games. 4 of those came against Oakland. So really, 2 earned runs in 2 games. He's been definitely pitching better. He went through about a 4 or 5 game rut there where he was giving up runs like hotcakes. He's faced this Texas team twice already this year. Very, very good. So he's got 14.2 innings pitched against them, 4 hits, no earned runs, 15 Ks. So there is some success there. He's trending in the right direction. So I like the Mariners here to get the job done. They had to kind of make a hell of a comeback last night, but I think they get the job done today. So I will back them. Pitch splits don't look great, right? Fastball cutter. Rangers are hitting that pretty decent, but I'll back them here. It's a fairly even split. I think Scherzer should get hit up. He's just not the same Scherzer he used to be. All right, pitch sheets. A lot of the lines aren't out. This is pretty early in the morning recording this, so like very early. So a lot of these K-props aren't even out yet, so I don't really know. Couldn't complete it. Best bets I like today. Tampa Bay and Cleveland under 8.5. I just like the under. I know Cantillo's going. I think they'll be really quick to hook him if there is a problem, so I'll take the under. I don't think Tampa Bay is going to give up a lot of runs. That bullpen's been really solid. Houston and the Angels over 8.5. Verlander, Anderson should equal a lot of runs. Give me the San Diego Padres first 5 minus a half a run. Like I said, they should hit Mason Black. I think Musgrove has a good day. Dodgers team total over 3.5. Maybe a ballsy play here. This might be a ballsy play, but I think they get to sail a little bit, and then they should get to that bullpen, even if if they can get 2 runs off a Sale, which the books feel pretty good that they will, then we should be in pretty decent shape, I would say. It's hard to keep this Dodgers offense down for 2 games in a row. And then this right here, I got to fill that in. Tampa Bay first 5 over 1.5 runs. Cantillo's been giving up runs left and right. The Rays love lefties. I just love the value here. I'll take my chances there. And then Angels first 5 at plus 135. Just value, right? I think Houston will get some runs. Maybe you could look at a first 5 over. That could be a potential too, but we're already playing the full game over. So I like the Angels first 5 at plus money. Parlays I like today, Blue Jays, Padres, and then the Astros, Angels over 6. So obviously that's an alt line, plus 261. Then we're going to take the Cubs, the Mariners, and the Brewers, Arizona game over 6 runs. So another alt line there. Fun parlay, Yankees, Blue Jays, Cubs, Padres, Mariners, plus 1,147. And the upset parlay would be Detroit, Tampa, and the Dodgers at plus 954. Prop leans I like Mason Black over 2.5 earned runs at minus 119. Almost a disrespectful line, if we're being honest, for a guy with a 10 ERA. Trey Turner for the Phillies over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 150. Really juiced, but I like that line. Max Muncy over 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. We just need him to get a hit or get a walk and score, something. Minus 120. I just think there's value there. Kyle Schwarber over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 110. Schwarber's been hot. We can see some Schwarber bombs right away. He could hit this in the first inning. And then Joey Cantillo over 1.5 base on balls at minus 130. He's been 3+ walks in, I want to say, 3 out of 5. So decent chance this hits. I think he's going to be trying to hit corners. And this race team's fairly, what's the right word here? They're not necessarily aggressive at the plate, right? They have a lot of patience. So I could see that hitting. Nerfies I like KC and Pittsburgh at minus 125. I expected this next one. I expected the Dodgers Braves to be like minus 160. So to get minus 130, it's a really good value there. And then the Reds and the Twins. Like I said, Martinez has been pitching good. I think SWR probably gets through the first inning relatively easy. So minus 130 there. So those are the bets I like. Just as a reminder, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're pushing 200 subs. Hopefully we can hit that today. Appreciate you guys tuning in as always, and I will catch you in the next video.